Hello all, and welcome to another Caffeine Entertainment video. This is Art here with a book review for Book 3 of the Expanse series, Abaddon's Gate, or Abaddon's Gate, however you say it. This is the third book in the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey, the duo that is James S.A. Corey. This is hard sci-fi at its finest best, and what I mean by hard sci-fi is, for those that don't know, the Expanse series deals in real science fiction. Real science informs their fiction, and everything is based upon the real science. If it can't be proven in real science, it isn't used in this book series, which is really cool because it grounds it in science that we know. Case in point, for those that watch the sci-fi series, because there is a sci-fi series that's based on these books. For those that watch the sci-fi series, you know, for them to go to light speed, they get harnessed into their seats and drugs get pumped so they don't get passed out. So they don't pass out when they're going in light speed, because forces like that on the human body would actually probably knock a human out. So in that sense, it's very real hard sci-fi. There's some MacGuffining going on. The authors have said that themselves. They at times have to cut corners, but even when they cut corners, it's basically extrapolating what they think the future may look like and making it work with their narrative story, their narrative drive that they are trying to tell. If I can talk today, James S.A. Corey, the duo that is James S.A. Corey, is the George R.R. Martin of science fiction, and what I mean by that is twofold. Each book so far that I've read, and I've read 3 of them plus one novella so far in the Expanse universe, the chapters are broken up into POVs, which is really amazing. And it lets you see events from different angles and from different perspectives, so that you, the reader, had the fullest, most complete picture of the events that happen in the book, even more so than at times the characters in the books themselves. This makes it for a more vibrant world. It makes it for the book being like a camera lens, which is really freaking amazing. This has fast become my favorite science fiction series that I've read. Now, you all know, like, I've read Star Trek books, I read Star Wars books, Star Trek books, I've read the Dune series, I read John Scalzi, so I'm well versed in sci-fi. I know my sci-fi, and to me there's nothing better than hardcore sci-fi. I love the main character who we follow, James Holden. To see the growth of James Holden through the first 3 books. I hope it keeps continuing. Right now there's 7 books and several short stories in the series. I love this series. This series may be a series of tomes, which each book has been over 500 pages, and they may indeed be a series of tomes, which they are. But I'll tell you what else they are. They are complete works of art. They are complete immersion novels. They are, if I can recommend any novel to you, if you listen to me to read any science fiction recommendations, the Expanse series is above and beyond my chief recommendation in sci-fi fiction series. Now, I will say that if you want something lighter, I'd go with the John Scalzi. But as far as true science fiction, let me get this turned toward the camera. As far as true science fiction, Abaddon's Gate is it. Abaddon's Gate is truly it. Abaddon's Gate, or I should say, well, Abaddon's Gate is the third step on the journey that is the Expanse series, that is truly a masterpiece in the sci-fi. Because there's several different fantasy series I can point to that are amazing. You've got Brandon Sanderson series. You've got Robert Jordan. You've got George R.R. Martin. You've got Patrick Rothfuss. You've got several series. But the series that is a serious sci-fi series, a hardcore sci-fi series, that is James S.A. Corey. Now, if you're new to sci-fi, I recommend starting out with John Scalzi to kind of get your feet wet. There are plenty of good John Scalzi books, like the Old Man's War series is excellent. His new Collapsing Empire series is pretty good. Lock-In's good. Red Shirts is good for John Scalzi. But James S.A. Corey is the cream of the crop for sci-fi writers. I cannot beam about this book and about this series enough. Because you never know where this series is going to go. And if it takes a loss of a character to drive the plot, then that character has to go. And that character does go. And in that way, too, it's like Martin's Song of Ice and Fire series, which includes the Game of Thrones, which is the Game of Thrones books. So, if you like Game of Thrones, if you like sci-fi, you're going to love Expanse. Abaddon's Gate is book 3 in that series. Leviathan's Wake is book 1. Caliban's War is book 2. I don't know what book 4 is yet, but you can guarantee that this series is fast approaching the must-get-to very quickly portion of my TBR, or of my stack of books that I read. This series is amazing. I love this series. I need to read more of this series. And I think anybody who is a self-respecting sci-fi fantasy fan needs to have this series in their life. The things that happen in this book will both astound you and shock you, but if you're a fan of the series, you know it as the most logical turn and the most logical next step in the series. I cannot recommend this series enough. In my scale, this is a love it, own it, have to have it, need to read it as quick as possible. And for GoodReads purposes, it's a full 5 stars. The quintessential sci-fi series. The most important sci-fi series of our time. And I know what I just said. I don't use those words lightly. I know those weighted words, and I mean what I say. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you that I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check it out what that is in your ear. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see more. Turn on the notification bell, especially in December, because we have 15 more book reviews to go for me to reach my goal of 100 books read for 2017. Leave a comment down below if you've read the Expanse series or where you're at in the Expanse series. And leave a comment down below also if you'd like to see me do a spoiler-ridden gush of the book. Because I can gladly do that. If you don't like, if reading the tomes is daunting to you, then I recommend the audible narrations by Jefferson Mays. He's amazing at the books. So without further ado, and with that recommendation, wholly unsolicited, I did not get paid for that recommendation. I just completely recommend the books. And without further ado, I say happy reading, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.